Very, very special airplane that has been through the ringer in terms of competition for a aircraft to be used by both the United States Navy and the United States Air Force. Back in the 1990s, the Air Force and the Navy were both looking for replacements for their primary trainers, and they came up with a winner. They called it the JPATS program, and you can see the aircraft taking off now with the smoke system on. And John, I'm going to turn it right over to you, sir.
Well, in the cockpit today, you've got Mike at Game Show in Rambo there. He's going to pull up here at the end of the runway and do an slow-speed aileron roll right there at the end. And continue his climb up for an enter on the downwind side.
The Joint Primary Air Training System competition pitted a number of different aircraft manufacturers against one another. Ladies and gentlemen, is Game Show with the T6 Texan 2 flies in here. Again, that's Michael Rambo in the T6 Texan 2. What's he going to do for us, John?
Well, first he did a dive similar to that you would do an attack pass right there. An attack aircraft. He'll climb up here to a vertical roll and come around, do another one in the other direction.
Watch him as he comes over the top. A quick aileron roll on the upline. Now he'll do a modified 1/2 Cuban A. Watch him as he comes over the top. I'm assuming he's going to roll the aircraft upright. And he does that with 2 points of a 4-point hesitation roll. This airplane looks fast. How fast will it go, John?
It'll do about 365 miles an hour.
365 miles an hour. That's in, for the aviators, 300 knots, right?
About 360.
It is.
Yeah, you notice that stability-wise, and the smoke trail is kind of a tell-all as I watch him. That the airplane's nose hasn't tracked at all as he rolls around.
He'll extend out to the left-hand side of the box. Pull up, experiencing about 4 times the pull of gravity on that upline.
Yeah, between 4 and 5, so Mike will be about between 800 and 900 pounds during the pull.
This is the classic 1/2 Cuban A, maneuver that has its history dating back to 1936 at the Miami Air Races, when the late Len Povey was too low at the top of a loop to complete it successfully. So rather than making a smoking hole in the ground, he did 5/8 of a loop, went up right, did the same thing the opposite direction, and it painted a figure 8 in the sky. Now what we've just seen on this one is an Immelman, which goes back and
actually he did a loop with a roll at the top.
Oh, he did a loop with a roll at the top. Okay, he did a half an Immelman. He did an Immelman and then rolled it over and pulled through with a full roundhouse loop with a roll on the top. I was going to say the Immelman goes back even farther than 1936, goes back to World War I.
That's correct.
Now, this time, he's rolled it on the 45-degree.
Nice straight line right across show center. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4.
90 degrees of rotation, very precise. Is the airplane easy to fly?
It's easy to fly, but it's difficult to fly well, which makes it a very good trainer, so you can separate the wheat from the chaff.
Now, what do you mean difficult to fly well? What does that mean?
Well, in any airplane, to get it fly exactly precisely takes a certain bill of innate skill. That's can become evident in the student trainers for the Marine Corps, Navy, Coast Guard, the Air Force that are training on it right now. In fact, you just saw a slow roll there. It's one of the more difficult maneuvers in any aircraft that Mike did.
Some of the best aerobatic pilots in the world have said that if you can master a slow roll, you can do about any aerobatic maneuver there is. There's another Texan pilot by the name of Bill Leff who flies a Texan with the original Texan from back in 1943, the Air Force's AT-6, and he flies an inverted to inverted maneuver too, but he can't stay upside down too long because it'll starve the engine in that 9-cylinder, 600 horsepower radial engine.
50 miles an hour, have your cameras ready to get top of the aircraft.
Look right down into the office. Watch for the nose to come up a bit, and goes right into knife edge flight. No lift on the wing at all. How about that? How about a big round of applause for Michael Rambo, call sign Game Show. I think, now what was the change from the A, the T6 to A to the B model? What changed?
Actually, we changed the avionics completely. There's a heads-up display and a completely integrated cockpit with a simulated weapons drop and air-to-air engagement simulator for advanced training for the students.
So the T6 with the heads-up display, it's like a modern fighter, which displays right on a piece of glass in front of the pilot, so he or she can see his airspeed or altitude, G's, direction, attitude, the whole shooting match.
That's kind of a long story. We'll have a beer over that, Rob, and I'll tell you that. It's been a pleasure.
It's good to see you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks to John Data Wren and also Mike Game Show Rambo and the Beechcraft T6 Texan 2. Let's give him a nice round of applause, everybody. Thanks, John.
I think you're going to load it.
Additional support of our big screen Jumbotron coverage is provided by the new IMAX film Air Racers 3D.